So this was like 2011, I think. 2011, I believe. So me and my three close friends, I'm not going to use their names, but I'll use their nicknames. My cousin Gas Pump, my friend, I'll just AJ. It's fine, doesn't matter. I don't think he really cares anyway. And then another friend of mine who I won't name. So at this point in time in like fall 2011, we are super into psychedelics. We had just started doing mushrooms consistently, right? So we're super hyped on mushrooms. I mean, we were at the point where we were every single weekend for a solid month and a half. We did boomers every single weekend. Every single Saturday evening, we met up and did boomers. The four of us, every single weekend. So we were deep into the psychedelic lifestyle at this point. And then, so we hear from this guy who, his name was, I'm not going to say his name, but he was the plug, quote unquote. He was probably the worst drug dealer I've ever had in my entire life for a variety of reasons. He hit us up and was like, yo, I got these things called 2CIs. Said it with a plural. And we had no idea what this was at this point. So we hit the Google, we hit the dark web, try to find some information on 2CI. 2CI apparently is like it's a research chemical, and the best way I can describe it is it's like a combination of like LSD and like ecstasy to a certain extent. Like that's kind of what the effects would be like, right? So it's like candy flipping in one substance. Cool, right? We're down, obviously. So we're like, yeah, of course. Like we want that. How much? $20. Okay. The week before that we did this, I had taken it at a Halloween party at this like random trailer park lodge that we were at, which sounds like a bad idea and was completely a bad idea. It was like 200 people. The cops came. It was horrible. It was a bad time. So I'm like, okay. And it wasn't that intense. Like it wasn't. Like it was more X than it was anything else, you know? So it's manageable. So we decided to meet up at my buddy AJ's house. He has like a teepee in his backyard and stuff. So he had a pretty chill place. His like grandparents were out of town and they didn't care anyway. They were super cool. They're like intellectuals or whatever. It's fine. So we meet up and we're like, okay, we're going to take this and we're going to like chill here all night, right? So we take it, try to get ourselves in the mood. We had like a 3-foot roar that we used to use, which was like obnoxious and dumb. And as an adult, probably wouldn't have that in my property for a variety of reasons. But like, so we started getting in the mood or whatever. Like an hour and a half passes, dude. I don't feel anything. I mean, we tried to do everything that like a dumbass 18-year-old would do to get the trip started. We put on Inception. It had just came out. We were watching Regular Show. We tried it all, man. All the things in the staples, right? We tried it. Nothing's happening for like an hour and a half. We're like, all right, man, because our plan was to stay in the house like all night. Obviously outside of the house too, but like in the property line. So, you know, that way we didn't get into too much trouble. We didn't have to drive anywhere. You know, it was going to be a good time. We weren't trying to go party hopping, you know, while on research chemicals, which is probably one of the smarter things that we did that evening. So finally, it's like 2 hours have gone by. Nothing's happening. You know, we're like getting small visuals, like whatever, dude. It's cool, I guess. Like we didn't spend that much on this stuff. And like, I kind of knew what to expect already due to the prior weekend's events. I just realized I'm playing this guy with the full Wisconsin fit. Oh my God, this guy sucks. But like, you know, I know what's going on at this point. My friends are kind of pissed. They're ranging from like kind of pissed to like kind of having a good time. But AJ's playing Warcraft and shit. Like, you know, if you're playing Warcraft, World of Warcraft on psychedelics, like, you know, they're not hitting you. You're not able to do that much and concentrate on anything in that capacity. So, you know, finally we're sitting in the garage, chain smoking American spirits, just fucking desperate, chugging orange juice. Like, we had to have drank, I'm not kidding, probably 2 or 3 gallons of orange juice between the 4 of us. And there was just 4 dudes, by the way. There was no one else at these festivities. So we probably drank, we had read that like orange juice kicks the visuals off in psychedelics, so we drank like a bunch of it. I feel like we ate some grapefruit too. And like, my God, nothing works. So finally our buddy, who I'll just call Devo, calls, and he lives up the street, and this guy's like, you know, like a country bumpkin kind of reckless guy. He's named after a Patrick Swayze character, if that tells you anything. So in a specific movie, let me just say it's not Dirty Dancing, you know? So yeah, the orange juice was gross. It was terrible. But he calls us up and he's like, hey bros, what are you guys doing? You know, he shows up. And he's like, hey, can you guys help me with something? And we're like, I mean, I guess like it's not really hitting us. Like we'll help you. He's like, all right, cool. Check it out. Like up the street, there's this truck place. Like it's like a truck repair shop, like for semis or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I just got to go pick something up. My buddy owns it, right? So we're like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? We're like 19. We don't care. Like it's fine. So we drive down the street and we're expecting to go pick something up from this truck stop. And he pulls in the back. And then he like breaks the gate open and then goes in the back. And him and this other dude who was with him were trying to steal a busted transmission out of the dumpster for scrap metal purposes, right? So we're all, yes, that is exactly what happened. So we're sitting there, dude, and we are like in the car because we're not contributing to this clear, well, it's not a felony, it's like a misdemeanor, but like whatever. We're not trying to contribute to this, and we're not really interested in the $130 worth of scrap metal that is going to be the gift from this heist, right? Oh, no. Oh, no, dude, Right. So we're sitting there, and then it starts to like get a little bit more intense. It's been like 2 hours and 30 minutes, so we didn't think anything was going to happen. Now the visuals are starting to kick in. Apparently, we just needed to be stressed out. Stress is what we needed to kick these visuals in. So we're in the back, and we're bugging. Like my one buddy and my buddy AJ stayed at the house, and it was just me and my cousin Gas Pump that went to go do this for some reason. I don't know. I think I went with so I could try to talk them out of it, as I often did anytime they would do some dumb shit because they're my friends. So I would always go with them and be like, all right, man, look, we should not do this. So I think that was my role. But at this point, I was not even successful at that little role that I had. I was bugging the fuck out. It was horrible, right? All of a sudden, headlights show up. It's a fucking semi truck showing up to drop off the semi truck for repair purposes, right? And this is wild, by the way. This transmission for the semi truck is about, I would say on the light end, 400 pounds, right? So like they're trying desperately to load this shit in like a 2005 Chevy Silverado. It is not working. It is not working at all. This whole time, this is what they're doing. So I'm just like, oh no, dude, we're so fucking caught, right? So me and my cousin Gas Pump just get out of the car. We didn't even shut the doors to the Silverado. Just ran. Just fucking ran. Right? We just ran back to the house. It was only like 3 blocks away, but it was through like a pretty busy intersection. And we just dipped. We were like, nah, bro, we're not doing this right now. Like, this sounds like a terrible time. We're going to go ahead and just get out of here. Look at that. Look at that. So we just ran, dude. We are bugging the fuck out, right? So finally we get back to the house. Our friends are pissed at us, but they also kind of understand because they know we're on research chemicals, and that was probably not a good idea. They didn't realize until they got back and they saw our pupils that they started to kick in a little bit. So they're like, let's go party. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we can go to party. My cousin Mike had heard of this party from his ex-girlfriend, right? And he hadn't seen her for probably like 5 or 6 years at this point. So we're like, yeah, dude, we had heard about like 3 parties. So we're like, we'll fucking go, right? We'll go to all 3 of them. Fuck it. It's probably like 11:30 at night at this point. So we wrangle the rest of our friends back at the house, and we're like, we're going to go to these parties. So party number 1, we get told of this party because my buddy Debo had met this girl on the internet and gotten completely catfished, by the way. Like, completely catfished. This girl had been using pictures, I would say not even of her, but at least from like 4 years ago, which is fine. Whatever. So we get there, and she says she's having a banger, right? We get there. There's probably 4 people there, 2 of which are like straight up adults. Like, I mean, gray beard. I'm assuming her parents are there kicking it. And we're like, oh no, dude. And then so, yeah, no, he got catfished hard. And like, we are tripping fucking balls. And then we're laughing so hard. Like, she walks up to him, and then he sees her, and I saw the look on his face, and we're all just like laughing like hyenas, which is pretty fucked up actually. But like, I couldn't stop laughing. We laughed so hard. So we ended up telling her we were going to go get liquor. We just left, right? The next party we went to was a party in this little small suburb outside of my city that's like only like 10 minutes away, but it's like a real Cowboy Bebop fucking area of town. And we get there, and this is a sober party that we were invited to, right? This is a straight up sober party. Like, we walk in, and they're playing Pong with Mountain Dew, I think, or Dr. Pepper. Like, I thought they were just drinking mixed drinks. No. This was like a sober party. This was like a religious like event, right? So we're like, oh no, dude, this is so bad. And we are at this point tripping. Like, it still wasn't as intense as like a standard acid trip, but by this point it had hit, dude, and we were fucked up. Like, we were like, oh no, at least I was, and I know my cousin Gas Pump was for sure. Like, I know for a fact he was too, because I could see his pupils, and he does this thing when he starts to trip where he like lets out this specific laugh that I've never heard him make any other time, where it's like a real primal laugh. Like, shit is real funny to him. So I know that he's tripping. So we're just geeking at this point. We're like, dude, we are at a fucking youth group meeting right now on a Saturday night on some of the strongest psychedelics that you could possibly get your hands on. And we're dying. And then these people are just talking to us, dude, and they're like telling us about what their like mission is and shit. And like, I'm laughing super hard, like in their face. Like, and not even to be like an asshole. Like, I'm not like one of those guys who's like trying to be like a sick ass atheist, right? Where you just like, you hear the word God and you just laugh to be like a facetious dick or something. No, I cannot stop laughing because I am so uncomfortable. Like, when I get uncomfortable, I start to laugh. And when I'm combo that with psychedelic drugs that I'm not familiar with in any way, shape, or form, oh yeah, I'm geeking, dude. You would have thought I saw Borat for the first time. And they weren't even saying anything funny. They were very uninteresting. I was just straight up dying. So finally, we had to convince my buddy to leave this party, by the way, because he met some blonde white girl, his absolute kryptonite. And my buddy AJ, who I'm not going to say much else about him, but he likes thick women, had met a nice thick woman in bedazzled jeans that he was very interested in. So it was very, very difficult to pry them away from this party. You know, I kept trying to remind them that we were at a youth group meeting, essentially, and whatever they thought was going to happen was not going to be going down. So we finally like pried him out of there, both of them. And we're like, my cousin Gas Pump's like, dude, we're going to go to this girl that I used to date's house. She's having a banger. I've seen pictures of it. This is like 2011. So we didn't have like Snapchat or anything. Oh yeah. She had the jeans with the bedazzled cross on them. Like Miss Me jeans. Like, you know, like from fucking Buckle, right? She was not fucking around. So finally, we're like, all right, we're going to go to a real house party. Now, this party is down the street from my parents' house. So the neighborhood is, depending on which turn you make, either very rough or very nice. Now, judging by the fact that this was my cousin's ex-girlfriend, I had a sneaking suspicion that this was going to be in the sketchy part of the area, based solely on his mere existence and just how he is in general. So we're like, okay, we're going to go. And by the way, he's like, at this point, he's 4 years older than me. So he's like 23, 24. I'm like 19. And like, I mean, like methy, very methy area of town is kind of what this part of town was at this point, especially the specific block that she lived. Very methy, like real kind of sketchy vibes, you know? So I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a terrible experience for all of us. I can just guarantee that it's going to be bad, right? He's telling me not only did he date this girl in high school, so it's been like a solid 6 years, he hasn't seen her since and has never brought her up. So this means only one thing, and that this is going to be a bad time. So we pull up, and it's in like this sketchy alley, right? And there's no streetlights on this street. I grew up down the street from it. I knew this going into it. I even explained, hey, dudes, we're going to a place where there's no streetlights, right? And nobody has outdoor lights either. So it's going to be super dark, and it's going to be pretty sketchy. The rationale was we're like 9 dudes deep. By the way, we were those people that roll up to the house party with absolutely no girls and 9 dudes, right? That was what we were doing at that point. So, like, we were rolling up, no women, 9 dudes, absolutely nothing of substance being brought to the party whatsoever. Just nothing. We weren't bringing bottles. Like, I think we maybe had like a 30 rack of Keystone at that point and some cigs. And I think maybe some cannabis products, maybe. But, like, if anything, it was like probably like an eighth of like Dro. You know what I mean? This is like 2011. There was no Medis out here at this point. So we roll up, and it is banging, for sure. It is. The house is fucking hella sketchy. It's looking trap adjacent, for sure. But like, it's banging. People are listening to Waka Flocka Flame already. Like, I already know that things are going to go out of control at some point in the near future. It's just like when. So we walk in, the house is small, but it's like nicely decorated enough. It's like, you ever been in a house that's definitely a trap house, but it's also like, I call it trap farm girl. Does that make sense to you guys? Where it's like definitely a trap house, but at the same time, like they go to Target for their home decor. You know, they like live, laugh, love, and like it's wine 30 shit, but then they also like listen to Gucci non-ironically and definitely sell drugs. That's kind of the vibe that was going on here, which is not something I'm unfamiliar with, but it's not exactly the best fucking area to be when you're on psychedelics, for sure. So we walk in and like it's rowdy, dude, for sure. Like it's rowdy. There's a lot of Marc Ecko jean shorts going on. All white people, by the way, like all. But there's like Marc Ecko jean shorts. I think there was this song playing where like all the song kept saying was that she's a 5-star bitch is all it kept saying. And then this dude was dancing with this girl and she was not a 5-star bitch, let me tell you. But he kept going down like this and pointing at her and like looking at everyone and then like pointing at her while he was pulling his own pants up. It was interesting, and they were grinding super aggressively. That's all I remember because I was fascinated. Because I was tripping absolute dick, dude, and I was just staring at these two, like, fascinated. I was like, oh my God. I was like, why are they going so hard? Who is this for? Why do they keep pointing? Who's watching this? Like, I was so fascinated by this thing because I got into like trippy introspective mode. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten into that mode where you're just kind of like looking at stuff and you're like, why is this the way that it is? I need to know. I need to study and understand that. And that's where I'm at this point because I need to understand a variety of things about this situation, specifically these two people. In what context is she 5-star BZ? Context number 2, why does he keep making eye contact with people and then pointing at her every time the song says 5-star bitch? Number 3, why does he keep pulling his pants up? Because he doesn't seem to be moving hard enough for them to consistently fall over, even though they are like 3XL Marc Ecko jean shorts. Number 4, is he ever going to smoke the Newport in his ear? Because it's been sitting there, I think lit for at least a couple minutes, right? Also, why does he keep pointing at everyone? I just don't understand. Like, he just keeps making eye contact, and there all seem to be random people. If it was like 1 or 2 specific people, I would assume that there's like something that I'm not privy to information-wise, and that would be different. But he just seems to be pointing at random people, which I think is a little bit worse, because it's just like he's flexing on no one in particular. And then number 2, why are they like wildly like gestating like this? Like, why are they dancing so slow yet so aggressive at the same time? It doesn't seem to make sense. So I'm just staring at these people, dude. I'm like, I am not like subtle about this either. Like, I'm like, I think I'm being sneak, but I think I was wearing sunglasses inside too. So I looked like a fucking psycho. It's like, you know, midnight at this point, probably a little bit later. And I'm just like chain smoking Marlboro menthols with sunglasses on, just staring at these people. And then, so I lose all my friends because obviously they do not want to be associated with me at this point for obvious reasons, right? And all of a sudden, I hear the girl whose party it was, who, when I finally met Mike's ex-girlfriend, she seemed to be on hard times at that point. Looking like, when I said the area was methy, I mean, yes. It didn't look like someone who's just like, you know, living rough. It looked like someone who's living rough on drugs. So I hear her yell at a bunch of people upstairs. I never got to see the upstairs of the house. I'm sorry to report, I was never up there. But I hear her yell up to, while she's talking to my friends, that she yells up and says, do not use the upstairs bathroom, it's broken, right? Yes, belly shirt was risen up. You know that like classic like meme fit where it's like a crop top, like black skinny jeans that are pulled up, not even that high, they were like kind of low top at that point, and then like some sky top Supras. Like, that's the kind of fit that she was running. So I hear her yell this, and I'm just like, once again, I'm in inquisitive mode. I'm like, why can't they use the bathroom? What did they do to the bathroom? Why is it fucked up? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Not 5 minutes goes by. Like, we're in the kitchen. In the kitchen, we discovered had a like one of the foundations must be broken or something, because it's up on like not cinder blocks but like house blocks or whatever, and like the kitchen is doing the stanky leg. Like, it's straight up, like, lean with it, rock with it. Like, it's at, like, at least, like, a 45-degree angle. Like, it's not a normal flat kitchen. And we're standing in it, and I think that it's just because I'm tripping, and we all kind of think that, until my other friends who were not were wondering why it was crooked. So, this place belongs in the upside down, yes. So, we're like, okay, that's weird. And we're, like, plotting, like, where we're going to go next, because clearly this is not somewhere we want to be right now, you know? We do not want to get down on this, at this party anymore. Like, you know, there's not much for us. I had already gotten bored looking at the couple dancing, who were still dancing, by the way, at this point. Still going. There was a different song playing at this point. But they were still getting it, for sure. I would assume my man was rock hard. I don't know. You can never tell through, you know, 4X Mark Echo jean shorts. But, like, you know, we're kind of losing it. It's losing its luster. We're starting to calm down a little bit. It's been like 6 hours at this point. And, like, we're like, all right, dude, we're going to leave. But, like, my friend is insistent, right? He's like, nah, dude, we got to hang out because I know that this party is going to take a wrong turn. Like, he is obsessed. He was obsessed at this time with, like, not only getting stories to tell later on in life, which he has a fuck ton of them. I was there for most of them. They're all accurate. But also because he's obsessed to see when parties would start to go down the drain. And, like, I'm sitting here like, all right, dude, can we just leave? He's like, no, something bad's going to happen and we have to be here for it. We have to. Like, this is what he keeps saying to us. And we're like, oh my God. And my cousin's like, what do you mean something's bad is going to happen? Nothing bad's going to happen. It's fine. And he just looks at her and he's like, your ex-girlfriend has a mustache, dude. Something bad is going to happen here. Right? I fucking lost it. I know he was pissed, but I thought that was the funniest shit I have ever heard in my entire life, mainly because of the psychedelics and just how goddamn random it was. Oh, God, no. Oh, yeah, she was rocking a thick, like, not like this, but, you know, like what a 13-year-old would have, you know? And I die when he says that. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? But he was totally right, because not 5 minutes goes by. Like, shout out to Most Ballin for raiding with a party of 81 while I'm telling a story about 2CI at a house party in a trap environment. Perfect timing. Not like 5 minutes goes by. I hear the toilet flush, and, like, it clicks in my brain. I'm like, oh, shit. Dude, I'm pretty sure that girl said not to flush the toilet upstairs. Oh, no, dude. So I am being faded. I am tripping at this point hard still. And I'm like, no, dude, we got to stay because they just flushed the toilet, man. And then something's going to happen. So we're sitting there. Nothing happens. Like, nothing. You can hear a bunch of people upstairs. The house was shoddily constructed. So there's a lot of people, like, moving around and you can hear it. So we're like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. I wonder if the toilet was just, like, kind of broken or maybe it overflows a little bit. I hear another flush. I'm like, okay, all right, things are starting to get interesting. I'm telling them, like, yo, we got to check this out. Like, let's just stay. So we walk into, like, the kitchen area. Kitchen's, like, fucking 6 by 6. Like, it's super small. And I see the light. It has one of those hanging lights, you know, the ones with the little, like, bowl in it. And I'm like, it's moving. And it's not just moving, dude. It's, like, bouncing, you know, because it's on the string. And I could see it kind of going like this a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's real life or that's the 2CI playing its tricks on me. I don't know. It's moving. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, no, dude. I thought this was starting to wear off, but I don't think it is because I'm still seeing visuals and stuff. All of a sudden, crash, dude. The toilet, still connected to the piping, by the way, so it's hanging on the piping, crashes through the same spot where that light is. Like, the whole ceiling fell down. The toilet's just sitting there, hanging on by dear life to this piping. And everyone is freaking the fuck out. I am laughing hilarious shit. So funny. Water starts coming down. Like, I'm not kidding. It started raining in the kitchen. Everyone's freaking out, dude. It's starting to, like, flood a little bit. This toilet is just bouncing on one singular pipe just hanging there. Like, and it's like a new toilet too, which I think is probably worse. Like, I think it's worse because the toilet looked relatively new. Like, they just put that in too. And then this just happened. And I feel kind of bad, but at the same time, they told her not to use the bathroom upstairs. They said that. And I am dying, right? And then we're sitting there and we're like, dude, we got to leave, but this is too interesting. People are running through the kitchen to get outside. A couple people slip, dude. There's, like, toilet paper floating around. Like, it's not like sewer shit, like the sewer didn't back up or anything, but like, you know, it's just regular toilet water. It's fine. But it's like not even spraying. I don't even know where the water's coming from. I see her up in the hole and she's like freaking out, dude, because there's like a pretty decent sized hole. Obviously, the toilet fell through the fucking ceiling, but it was still hanging on. Thank God it hung on too, because I'm just thinking about that. And if the toilet dislodged from these pipes that it was connected to and it wasn't just like hanging there suspended in midair, like that could have hit someone and that would have been pretty not chill, to be honest. Like, I would have been not stoked, you know, tripping out on this 2CI and seeing a toilet rock somebody. That would have been pretty not cool. So it was good that it held on. I appreciated that for sure. Look at these jerseys. These are terrible. But, like, we finally leave after that, and the cops show up right after that. And, like, there's so many people. I mean, there's probably, like, 100 or so people in this tiny, like, I would say 2-bedroom, like, house, right? That the cops are just like directing traffic for people to get out. They're just like that way, that way, that way, go. Meanwhile, the house is just like not necessarily flooding, but it's being fucking destroyed. Like 100% chance she lost her security deposit. You know, I don't think she was ever going to get it back based on the kind of person that she was in the first place, but she definitely wasn't now. If she had hope before, the hope was dashed. Like that party destroyed the possibility of her security deposit, which realistically, based on the landlords that operate in that area, they would have swindled her security deposit even if the house was in better shape. So it's like she didn't really lose out on that much. But yeah, so the end of that story is like nothing really came of that, dude. We like talked about it for a while and stuff like that, but nothing really came of it until my cousin ran into this girl again, like a year or so later, like, and asked her about it because he's that kind of person. It was just like, hey, like, what happened to your house, dude? The toilet fell through. Like, first thing she says is, wait, you were there. So that's not good. Like, they talked for a solid 5 minutes. Like, she didn't remember he was there. And then she was like, oh yeah, everything is good. It's still like that. So she's just been kind of living her life with the fucking toilet hanging. Like, I have to assume that she means like the pipes are like that or the toilet's still broken. I can't imagine the toilet's still posted up, right? There's no way. I that's what she said, but I don't know if that's accurate. You know what I mean? I feel like I just lost like almost his fucking raids. I appreciate most, bro. He's super tight for that. But like they all dipped. Ew, what an ugly jump shot. And like, yeah, she said it's still there. So I don't know what exactly that meant. I don't know if that meant like the pipe's still there, the toilet's still broken, or what. I don't know. So recap of the night. Took the TUCI with my 4 friends. We, you know, chilled out for like 2 hours or something of that nature, just trying to watch Inception and drinking about 5 gallons of orange juice, dude, trying to get the trip started, which didn't happen, by the way. It only was brought on by stress. But my other 2 friends started tripping too while we were gone, so I think it was just like a delayed time switch, honestly. I don't know, dude. It's weird. Maybe the stuff was just weird. I'm not sure. But yeah, so then my friends went and tried to steal a transmission from a semi-truck for some reason. I don't know why. For scrap metal purposes. And then we went to a religious retreat on accident, thinking it was a house party. Got catfish, and then went to a trap house where the toilet fell through. And I got to watch what I can only describe as the most interesting dance session I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, good times. And I have many more of those type of adventures, unfortunately.